Welcome to Story Blanks, the YouTube channel that dares to venture into the unknown, seeking to unveil the truth and bring it to light. Today, we are embarking on a journey that is both critical and urgent. A journey that navigates through the murky waters of a subject that impacts us all, yet is often shrouded in misunderstanding and denial. We are here to discuss a topic that is as controversial as it is real: global warming. This phenomenon, often dismissed as a myth or an exaggeration, is a grave reality that we are living, and it's time we started taking it seriously. In this episode, we will dissect the issue, peeling back layers of misinformation and complacency to reveal the stark reality underneath. We will arm ourselves with facts and figures supported by extensive research and studies conducted by the most respected scientific bodies in the world. We will delve into the unseen enemy that is silently but steadily devastating our planet. An enemy that does not discriminate, does not show mercy, and does not retreat. A force that we have unwittingly unleashed on ourselves, and one that we must now confront and conquer. This is not a battle for the faint-hearted, but a war that we must win. For if we fail, the consequences are too dire to contemplate. So brace yourselves and join us as we step into the eye of the storm to face our unseen enemy: global warming. Stay tuned as we unravel a story that is as compelling as it is terrifying. Welcome to a new episode of Story Blanks. Today we delve deep into an issue that's growing larger each day, yet often overlooked. Our focused topic: an enemy that is invisible yet omnipresent, silently devastating our planet. This enemy isn't a creature from science fiction, but a very real and potent threat we are all facing: the phenomenon known as global warming. A silent but deadly force, it has been steadily elevating the world's temperatures over the past 100 years, as confirmed by numerous research studies. An alarming consensus has been reached among scientists worldwide, pointing out the primary culprit of this rising heat: the emission of greenhouse gases, largely driven by human activities. This insidious enemy does not discriminate, impacting every corner of our planet. According to the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, we've experienced the warmest decade on record in the past 20 years, with temperatures climbing at an unprecedented speed in the Earth's history. Yet this enemy easily goes unnoticed as it cannot be seen with the naked eye. However, its effects are real, tangible, and devastating. As tangible as the increased frequency of wildfires, storms, and floods that we've witnessed across the globe. Backed by solid evidence, these are the lethal outcomes of an enemy we birthed, and only we hold the power to defeat. Let's explore how we can turn the tide in this battle against our invisible enemy. As we peel back the layers of our unseen enemy, it's essential to understand how we got here. Our actions, both individually and collectively, have played a significant role in this escalating crisis. Our daily lives are intertwined with practices that contribute to the problem. For instance, every time we flip a switch, we're potentially adding to the carbon footprint, depending on the source of our electricity. Each time we drive our cars, we're emitting carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. Even the food we eat can have an impact, as the agriculture industry is a major contributor to greenhouse gas emissions. But it's not just about pointing fingers or blaming specific industries. It's about acknowledging the interconnectedness of our actions and their consequences. We've built a global society that's heavily reliant on fossil fuels, and changing that won't be easy. But it's also important to remember that we didn't arrive at this point overnight. It took decades of accumulated actions and decisions, often made without the knowledge of their future impact. In this scene, we'll delve deeper into the roots of this crisis. Exploring the main drivers of climate change, we'll uncover the harsh reality of our carbon-intensive lifestyle, shedding light on the role we've played in shaping our planet's future. We'll explore the causes behind the rise of greenhouse gases, examining how our reliance on fossil fuels, deforestation, and industrial practices have contributed to the problem. We'll also look at some of the lesser-known contributors to global warming, such as methane emissions from livestock and waste, and nitrous oxide from agricultural practices. As we lift the veil on this unseen enemy, we hope to inspire a sense of urgency and responsibility. It's a daunting task, but understanding the problem is the first step towards finding a solution. Our technological advancements have come with a hefty price tag. The march of progress has always been a double-edged sword. It's true, industrialization has brought us countless benefits, from the conveniences of modern living to the medical marvels that save lives every day. But as we forged ahead, we've also left a trail of destruction in our wake. The Industrial Revolution, that great leap forward, marked the beginning of a steep rise in greenhouse gas emissions. The burning of coal, oil, and natural gas for energy and heat became the norm, and with it came a surge in carbon dioxide levels. From the dawn of the industrial age to today, these emissions have increased by over 250%. But the energy sector is not the only culprit. Let's consider the transportation industry: cars, trucks, airplanes, and ships. These modern marvels have made our world smaller, but they've also contributed significantly to the problem. Today, transportation accounts for nearly a quarter of global carbon dioxide emissions. And let's not forget about deforestation. As we've cleared land for agriculture and urban development, we've lost vast swaths of forests. These mighty trees, once our allies in soaking up carbon dioxide, are now fewer and farther between. As a result, instead of absorbing carbon, our actions are contributing to its increase. It's a complex issue, no doubt. The same industries that have propelled us into an era of unprecedented prosperity are also driving us towards a precipice. We're caught in a paradox, where our pursuit of progress is causing the very problems we're striving to solve. In the grand scheme of things, the industrial age is but a blink of an eye in Earth's history. Yet in that short span of time, we've managed to significantly alter the planet's climate. It's a sobering thought. Our achievements, as groundbreaking as they may be, are casting a long, dark shadow. Progress, it seems, has a darker side. Our planet has reached a critical juncture. The Earth, our shared home, has been patient with us for long. It has endured our relentless pursuit of progress, our unending appetite for resources, and our disregard for the delicate balance of nature. But every system has a tipping point, a threshold beyond which it cannot recover. Scientists believe we are on the cusp of that tipping point. Consider this: the last time the Earth's atmosphere contained this much carbon dioxide was 3 million years ago, during the Pliocene epoch. Back then, the global average temperature was about 3.6 degrees Fahrenheit, 2 degrees Celsius, higher than today, and sea levels were 15 to 25 meters higher. We are not far from those levels now. But this time, the change is happening at an unprecedented rate. In the past, such shifts took thousands of years. Today, we're seeing them in mere decades. This rapid change is the real danger. It leaves little time for adaptation for us and for the millions of species we share the planet with. The dire predictions we've heard about, rising sea levels, melting ice caps, extreme weather events, they're no longer hypotheticals. They're happening right now. And if we continue on this path, the results could be catastrophic. This is our tipping point. It's the moment when we decide whether we will continue down this destructive path or if we'll choose a different course. It's the moment when we decide what kind of world we want to leave for future generations. It's not just about saving the planet, it's about saving ourselves. The Earth is resilient, but even it has its limits. We're at the brink. The question is, will we step back or plunge over? Our actions have repercussions, and they are dire. Picture this: our planet Earth, a beautiful blue and green orb, home to a multitude of species, now on the brink of catastrophe. And the culprit? Global warming. The impacts of global warming are far-reaching and devastating. Let's take a moment to understand the gravity of the situation. The world's temperature has been steadily rising, and with it, so too have the sea levels. Our polar ice caps, once majestic and seemingly unending, are melting at an alarming rate. In the last 100 years, the global sea level has risen about 8 inches, but in recent years, it has accelerated nearly twice as fast. And it's not just about the water rising. The increase in global temperatures is leading to more frequent and severe weather events. Imagine hurricanes, floods, and heat waves becoming the norm rather than the exception. These extreme weather events are not just a nuisance, but they pose a real threat to life and property. Now let's talk about the wildlife. Our fellow inhabitants of the planet are bearing the brunt of these climatic changes. A significant number of species are facing extinction due to these rapidly changing climates. Imagine a world without the vibrant colors of coral reefs or the majestic roar of a lion. It's not a world any of us would want to live in. The consequences of our actions are clear and present. Our planet, our home, is suffering. And it's not just about the loss of ice or the rise in sea levels. It's about the loss of biodiversity, the loss of habitats, and ultimately, the loss of life. The consequences of global warming are not just restricted to the environment. It's a humanitarian crisis too. It affects every single one of us, regardless of where we live or what we do. Our home is changing, and not for the better. As we move forward, we need to remember the consequences of our actions and take responsibility. Together we can make a difference. Together we can change the course of our future. In the face of such devastation, the silence is deafening. Let's take a step back and focus on what's often overlooked amidst the clamor of climate change discussions. The silence. The silence of the once bustling forests, now devoid of the lively chatter of wildlife. The silence of the once vibrant coral reefs, now reduced to ghostly skeletons. The silence of the once mighty glaciers, now replaced by trickling streams. This silence speaks volumes of our neglect and indifference. It bears witness to the thousands of species that have been silenced forever, driven to extinction by our reckless actions. It's the silence of the bees, whose numbers are dwindling, threatening our food chains. It's the silence of the polar bears, struggling to survive as their icy homes melt away. It's the silence of the coral reefs, bleached and lifeless due to increasing ocean temperatures. This silence isn't just confined to the wilderness. It echoes through our cities, our homes, our lives. It's the silence of a world growing increasingly warmer, wilder, and unstable. It's the silence that follows the raging storms, the devastating floods, the scorching heat waves. But this silence isn't defeat. It's a call to action, a plea for help, a call to break the silence with our voices, our actions, our determination. In the face of this devastating silence, we need to make ourselves heard. Let's not let the echoes of silence turn into the sounds of our surrender. We are not immune to the effects of our actions. It's a truth that echoes through the ages, and it's never been more poignant than in our current battle against global warming. When we talk about the human toll of this crisis, we're not just talking about numbers on a page. We're talking about real people, real lives, real stories. It's the mother in India who watches her child suffer from heat stroke as temperatures soar to unprecedented heights. It's the farmer in Africa who can no longer grow his crops because the rains have stopped coming. It's the family in the Pacific Islands who have to abandon their ancestral home because the sea levels are rising. Over the past decade, there has been a significant increase in heat-related illnesses and deaths. In fact, according to the World Health Organization, tens of thousands of people die every year due to extreme heat. That's more than the population of some small cities. And it's not just our health that's at stake. Global warming is threatening our food security. Droughts are becoming more frequent and more severe, affecting agriculture in many parts of the world. Crops are failing, livestock are dying, and millions of people are going hungry. Then there's the issue of climate refugees. As sea levels rise and lands become uninhabitable, more and more people are being forced to leave their homes. The United Nations estimates that by the middle of this century, we could see as many as 200 million climate refugees. That's equivalent to the entire population of Brazil. We need to remember that behind every statistic, there's a human face. There's a story of struggle and hardship, of loss and displacement. Climate change isn't just an environmental issue, it's a human rights issue. We are not just destroying our planet, we are destroying ourselves. Let's not forget that. It's time to open our eyes. As the human toll of global warming continues to rise, there is an increasing realization of the dire reality we face. This is not a distant problem, not an abstract concept. This is happening here and now. It's the dried-up wells in California, the flood-ravaged streets of Venice, the bushfires in Australia. These are not isolated incidents, they're warning signs. They're our planet's desperate cries for help, and slowly but surely, we are waking up. We're beginning to see the consequences of our actions. We're starting to understand that our survival is intrinsically tied to the health of our planet. Our actions have caused this crisis, and now our actions must be the solution. We are the problem, but we are also the solution. This is our awakening. It's the realization that we have the power to change the course of our future. It's the understanding that each one of us has a role to play in this fight. It's the resolve to not stand by and watch as our planet suffers. It's the determination to not let our future generations pay the price for our mistakes. This awakening is not a moment, it's a movement of people who refuse to be silent, who refuse to be passive, people who are ready to take action, to make a difference, to fight back. Our awakening is our call to arms. It's our battle cry against this unseen enemy. It's our promise to our planet and to ourselves that we will not go down without a fight. And so, as we stand on the brink of disaster, we also stand on the precipice of change. The fight back begins now. It's not too late to turn the tide. Global warming, this unseen enemy, has been a topic of debate, concern, and at times, denial. But the truth remains, it's happening and it's affecting us all. Yet, as daunting as it may seem, there's still hope. We, as individuals, hold a tremendous power to combat this menace, to rewrite the narrative, to save our planet. Reducing our carbon footprint is a significant first step. Simple actions like using energy-efficient appliances, reducing waste, recycling, and even choosing a plant-based diet can have a profound impact. If each one of us makes these small changes collectively, we can reduce a significant amount of greenhouse gases that are released into our atmosphere. Next, let's talk about energy, and more specifically, renewable energy. Solar, wind, and hydro energy are not only limitless but also clean. By choosing green energy, we're not only supporting a sustainable future, but also encouraging industries to shift towards cleaner energy solutions. And then there's the power of advocacy. Climate policies play a crucial role in curbing global warming. By voicing our concerns, demanding climate action, and voting for leaders who prioritize the environment, we can influence these policies. After all, there is strength in numbers. And when those numbers demand change, change is bound to happen. Let's not forget, these aren't just hypothetical scenarios. Studies show that if global warming is limited to 1.5 degrees Celsius, we can prevent the worst impacts of climate change. We can save countless species from extinction, protect millions of people from the devastating effects of extreme weather, and secure a healthier, safer future for the generations to come. The future is in our hands. It's time to act, because the only thing necessary for the triumph of this enemy is for good men and women to do nothing. As we take steps to fight back against this unseen enemy, we set off a chain of reactions that extend far beyond our immediate environment. It's a ripple effect that begins with us and echoes throughout the world. Every energy-efficient appliance we use, every waste we recycle, every plant-based meal we consume, and every renewable energy source we support sends a message. It tells industries, policymakers, and the world that we are serious about combating global warming. It encourages others to join us in our fight. It motivates industries to develop more sustainable products and technologies. It pressures governments to enact stronger climate policies. It inspires researchers to find innovative solutions to environmental challenges. It empowers future generations to continue the fight. It's a ripple effect that can reshape the world. But remember, the ripple effect works both ways. If we choose to ignore the threat of global warming, if we choose to continue our current lifestyle, if we choose to remain silent, then we also send a message. And it's a message that can have devastating consequences. So let's choose to make a positive impact. Let's choose to be part of the solution. Let's choose to start a ripple effect that can save our planet. Because every action we take, no matter how small, can make a difference. The ripple effect starts with you. Let's make it count.